Hey everyone, Temporal here, and for this session we are reviewing a Master's Reinhardt with a pinch of Zarya. If you guys are enjoying the content, please do like and subscribe, as I really do appreciate that, and it does help me out. If you are looking to get more coaching yourself, you can join my Discord in the description below, see what rates look like, see what sort of promos, special events we have going on, all of that good stuff. And let's see what we've got here. Some Reinhardt, pinch of Zarya, this is Masters. Let's do a quick reload over on this actually, just because it's a little unhappy. But here we go.
2, 1. Attackers in.
If Adam donates enough, we get 4K streams. Could be. I expect, would you like to see my muscle spam? Well, after the Adam stream, maybe. Okay, so we're teleporting over. This is probably important to discuss. We've got ourselves a Reinhardt Zarya Sim combination, and then we have Zen Mercy. So Zen Mercy isn't the backline that you're in love with when you're running Rein Zarya. It's certainly workable. You just have to accept that it's going to be less about you doing a ton of work and more about your enabled teammates like Soldier getting work done before you run out of resources. The problem that we run into is that doesn't work great when our team comp also includes the Sim. Like, yes, Sim could do a monstrous amount. No, that's going to work fine with Sim. Sim is going to have to do a monstrous amount of damage. Like, we are going to have to walk at the enemy team and then just laugh at the amount of damage that our ramping Sim does with the Mercy boost, with the Discord Orb. There's certainly ways to make this work. That said, our Rein should not expect to sustain very long with his health. He should not expect to be getting a ton of swings done. So anytime he runs out of, hey, armor, things like that, he's going to have to rely on his shield while keeping himself close enough, while stabilizing close enough to the enemy team, not so much because he expects he's going to get healed back up to ranges where he can seriously go swinging again, but because he needs to, open the pocket. He needs to give the Symmetra the ability to play in his pocket with this and potentially this, a Discord Orb, to just run over the enemy team. The problem that we run into is we are heavily reliant on Sim TPs if we're playing Rein Zarya Sim on Gibraltar to get anywhere. So let's hope those don't get destroyed too quickly before we can get the team through them. That's going to be pretty important. Reinhardt is not a great hero on Gibraltar, especially first and second. And we really don't want our Mercy spending a ton of time like this. Like, this is not a thing that we want to see happen a lot. Oh, Rein has Harmony Orb and Mercy Beam. If we feel like we're demanding that constantly, we just can't get as much done with that as we could with Moira heals, with Ana heals, with Bap heals. Like, if we're in a situation where we're demanding a lot of support from our supports, we can still demand 100% of Mercy's attention and 100% of Zen's attention, but we're just not going to be able to do enough with it. So instead, we want it to go to... Oh, I hate you, Team Comp. I hate it so much. We want it to go to Soldier to get work done at this point, because that's just like what it is. Again, we're not going to, even if they pay a bunch of attention to us, and again, Zen just has to throw an orb on us, but even if they put their healing resource into it, we can't get enough done by spending that health because we can't regain it fast enough. It's not like we're just having a fire hose of Moira heals or an Ana that's naded us and is continuing to heal us. Like, sometimes we can spend a stupid amount of healing resource that's coming into us. If you spend your healing resource, you're still not going to accomplish all that much. So we're really looking to just sort of get in range, enable them, accept that we're not going to do a ton. We're going to lose slowly, preferably as slowly as we can after starting the fight correctly, while our DPS gets supported and does work, is what we're looking to play for as our style in this composition. Oh yay, an HD stream. Temporal finally fixed his streaming. Yep, we are back to HD. Let's see if Master 76 does any better than Diamond 76. We hope so, because if we're running Mercy Zen as our support line, Soldier's the only play. Like, oh, this is rough. Rein probably shouldn't be Rein on this map with this comp. No, he should very much be on Winston or even Orisa, but preferably Winston. Okay. Why are you backing out? You did this. You do your drop. Do your fire strike shenanigans. And we're good with this. Now you're here. I don't know why you're tanking quite so much damage. Again, we don't want to give him shield for free. Hide behind the cart. They're not stopping the cart, so let the cart be half of your shield right now. Let the cart do as much of the blocking for you as your shield is doing. We're just trying to turtle push the cart right now and make them drop. Remember that we're turtle pushing the cart thing? I don't mind the one swing at their tracer, but don't now back up. Don't now back up. Keep pushing the cart. The cart is putting pressure on them. It is not your job to go, oh, let me huddle super closely to my team. You don't want to like huddle super closely to your team to try and protect them from Tracer. You don't want to huddle super close to them to be like, hey, you guys missed the Rhine bus. The Rhine bus that was taking us this way, you missed it, so I'm going to come back for you. No, you are a bus driver that goes, oh, you weren't here. This bus leaves on time. If you weren't here, if you weren't at the bus stop that, had the times on it and everything like that when the Rhine bus came past, that's too bad. That's on you guys. It left on time, and now it is going to deliver the important payload to its place, and that's on you guys. You'll have to figure out your own way through. Seriously, don't don't try to. If your team doesn't go with you when you make appropriate rotations, if you initially waited for them, don't go back for them. A, you don't have the shield resource for it. B, they're not going to come with you the second time either. Like, if they didn't come the first time, they're unlikely to come the second time. They're all going to pay attention to this Tracer and Moira instead. So, like, that's life. You should just be getting the cart progress. I'm serious. And if the opponents actually drop into here, sure, then you can push and swing into the back of a Winston, the back of a Diva, sure. But for now, keep getting your cart progress. Serena is healing orb and Mercy heals standing on cart with his shield up. How's this, Masters? I don't know, man. I don't know, but it'll get better. Why aren't they going high ground? Well, that would also be better than what they did, but at this point with the cart here, they can just sort of turtle the cart a little bit further, or now they could rotate high ground. But a little bit more cart push is going to force the team back regardless. No! What are you doing? Stop. Go push the cart. Sure. Cart. Don't care. Fine. No! That was not an okay pin. Okay, now we're going to go high ground, right? Cart's as far as you can take it. These guys drop to low ground for you. Now you are going to go high ground. Or you, if you're feeling really spicy, are going to go high ground. Right? Right? That's what's going to happen?
This will restore you. Hey. Hello.
This is a troll bot. It's not supposed to be. Like to top the last one. Okay, so we've swapped to Zarya, which is a better pick. We've got the Zarya Winston. It looks like you weren't comfortable playing Winston. Your off tank was probably yelling at you, or maybe your team was yelling at you about this is a terrible Rhine map. They're correct, by the way. So you guys figured out that between you, you can play Winston Zarya like this. Fine with me. Fine with me. Let's see how your Zarya does. Okay, good bubble. Right click was slow. Why didn't we use this time to rotate? So here we are. Cool. This jump is supposed to accomplish a couple things. He's not going to get an elimination with this jump, even with your Zarya bubble, even if he had the Harmony Orb. He's not going to get an elimination with this. He has no support other than the little bit of projected support that you and Zen are throwing up there potentially, maybe a little bit from Soldier. But like our Soldier isn't standing right here, hitting into the enemy team. You aren't running through here to run them over. Your Zen isn't right behind you running through here to run them over. Your Mei isn't ice walling you guys up from here to run them over type thing. Like, this isn't a real push. This isn't him trying to get eliminations. This is a soft dive. It's to get you energy, which it'll do. It's to put a little bit of pressure on the opposing team, help charge up his primal, and it's to allow you guys to rotate. It's to allow you guys to rotate. You can throw right clicks at this. That's totally fine. But you and your team need to be using this opening that he's creating. This is his equivalent of putting a Rhine shield up and walking forward and you guys being able to catch the Rhine bust that we were talking about earlier. Well, this is the Winston drop ship helicopter, whatever. Like, this is the Winston version of the Rhine bus. So you go, hey, he's doing that. We want to go ahead and use this time to potentially set up for the next push. Maybe you go do that, some of that. Maybe you get here. Maybe you rotate up over here. But you want to use this time to rotate to the next place that you want to fight from. Because the next time he goes in with your bubble, you have to be ready to actually support him and actually be able to get eliminations if they don't hard retreat from this. That's how this works. You accomplished nothing other than getting 40 energy and a little bit of volt charge. What? I'm just not remotely worried about this Mercy, and if I'm going to protect this Mercy, I'm going to do it with a body block. I'm going to stand in front of this Mercy. Maybe I'm going to stand in front of this Mercy in personal bubble, but I'm not going to use projected bubble. Tracer is all the way over here. Your Mercy is fine. I know her health is low, but she's fine. She really is. And now your Winston can't do anything because you gave away his bubble for something that wasn't actually your Mercy being in danger. Oh, look, your Winston goes in because timing-wise, he expects that a bubble is ready right now. Okay, good bubble.
Give me your best shot.
Okay. So you're zapping your own Winston as you get a bubble on him. That's not trigger discipline. Did you just try to reload there?
Charging up.
That's not trigger discipline. You did! You did! You tried to reload there. I don't know why you'd reload there. I also don't know why you were just like painting the wall with your beam. Find your target. Be disciplined about it. When I talk about trigger discipline, what I'm referring to is you know when your crosshair isn't on someone and it isn't even close. I don't care if you're like trying to zap. Bob's a bad example, but Bob and you're missing a little bit, that's not what's going to bother me. If Bob is like behind a wall and you can tell that he's behind the wall and you're trying to zap him, that's poor trigger discipline. If your crosshair's way over here and you're holding it down as you drag it slowly all the way to Bob, that's poor trigger discipline. If you had a quick flick, no problem. If you're just missing a little, that's fine. But this is just like you're painting the walls while you're like, oh, I'm in chaos. What's going on? How do I do it? I'm uncomfortable. Like, no, that's not what we want to do. Charge on CD says temporal as Reinhardt. Is there a rule of thumb for, well, teammates is our feeding, can't help him, versus teammates is feeding, gotta go feed with to prevent staggers, eke out a W, etc.? Yeah, there is. Can you actually match your timing to theirs? Did you realize that they were feeding in a situation where you're down too many people and the team definitely won't feed with you? Or are you in a situation where you caught them right as they went in and you're turning their feed into an engagement? And you'd have preferred to start the engagement yourself, but they're doing it, but you're in there you can be in there within 3/4 of a second yourself, and you're just taking advantage of their initiation. So, like, it depends. Is it salvageable? And is it salvageable is a question of how quickly can you follow up on what they're doing, and is your team also able to follow up on what they're doing? Your team might not like it, but are they able to? Or is your team, 2 people are halfway back from spawn and there's 6 opponents and your friend just went in? Well, your friend is a strong word. Your teammate just went in. Well, at that point, you have to write him off and go, no, I'm not doing it, because even if I support this, the best we're going to get is a 4v6. But if he goes in when 4 or 5 of you are just chilling at the choke, setting up, whatever, yeah, it might be worth supporting that one. That's the answer.
Hey. Hello. Perfect.
You're welcome.
Hello. Perfect.
Okay. He's pretty firmly in his bubble. And his bubble isn't really weak yet. I'm not convinced that you wanted to hit this Zarya bubble quite yet. Oh, he still gets some value out of it. Good.
You're covered.
Okay. This is just 2 right clicks. That's all this is. You have 31 ammo. It's 2 right clicks. Throw a right click up here. Throw a right click down here. Throw a right click up here. You have lots of options. Lots of good options right here. This was not one of them. That Ashe Mercy combo is still perfectly accessible to you for a right click. You can basically think of unnecessary reloads, and by unnecessary reloads, I mean reloads like when there's enemies on your screen, that you should be shooting at, not enemies on your screen that terrify you because you have no health or whatever. By hitting a reload here, it's a pretty long animation. It's a relatively long animation on Zarya. It's not like the longest in the world. It's not an Orisa reload, but it's a pretty long animation that you could have gotten 2 right clicks out effectively just about by the time this is over. And you might be like, yeah, but then I'd have to do the reload. Yeah, then you'd have to do the reload, but you'd be 2 right-click attempts richer. Like, that sounds good to me. We're delaying the reload, and if we keep delaying the reloads by spending our whole clip, at least when appropriate, then we're going to have less total reloads, which means more total damage done, even if we're only hitting, for now, 1 in 5 of our right-clicks. You should hit more than 1 in 5 of your right-clicks, but it would be fine, even if you were hitting 1 in 5. Thalos says, at blah, tell me about it. If we're going with chimps and birds after camels and cheetahs, I'll be on my way. So even a lone feeder needs support if the rest of the team can conceivably follow up? Yeah. Well, that's the thing. If you have just one person feeding, if you have one person just constantly coming back from spawn and feeding, that's fine. The other 5 of you can wait and go, okay, he just got eliminated. Now he's coming back from spawn to do it again. And now he's going in. Aha, quick, guys, go. You can synchronize around 1 feeder. If the rest of you are actually willing to do it, you can absolutely do it. 1 feeder isn't a problem. 2 feeders on different feed cycles, now that's a problem. And you're going to have to make the adjustments you can around that to go, well, when can I turn? Is a 5v6 the best I can do? Is a 4v6 the best I can do? What's the best that we're conceivably going to be able to do? But 1 feeder is pretty easy to synergize around.
My ultimate is charging.
Okay. No, this is a right click. This is a right click. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? This can be damage into the Winston bubble. This can be a right click. This can be so many things besides a reload. Because there's totally nothing that you can be doing right now besides reloading. There's not a Moira right here. There's not a Winston right here. Like, there's nothing for you to shoot at. And you desperately need to be behind cover against these enemies. I mean, you do need to be behind cover, but you're not actually behind cover. There's enemies that you can shoot at, and you might be going, no, I've got bigger things on my mind. The self-destruct. Yeah, and the self-destruct is going to cause you to have to drop. Like, that's reality. But there's no reason you can't be zapping these people as you drop. Like, none. Feeder MT, triple times greater than coward MT. Okay. Okay, cool. Thanks. Sounds helpful for the metal ranks especially. Yeah, 1 feeder's not a problem. We'll work around them. If you can't handle me at Feed My Brains Out, you don't deserve me at 4-man chatters. I only hit 4-man chatters after your team is eliminated. I hear ya. Okay, here we go. Pushing up here. You throw a right click. You were still fine on health to continue contributing to this fight, but you don't have bubbles. Cool, turn right. Like, oh yeah, they're burning you. You know that charge just came in here from something. It's a Bob. Let's burn it as we back out. We can back out while we burn the Bob down. Why are we staring at the wall? Why are we reloading with 95 ammo when there was a tracer and a Bob on us? What? What are these reloads? No. No. I know this is only low masters, but this is still masters. You have to have these under better control. You're leaving so much damage on the table, and you're not even leaving damage on the table in poke phases when it's like, oh, you could be throwing right clicks out there that you'll hit maybe 1 in 4 of, 1 in 3 of, 1 in 5 of. You're like reloading in the middle of brawls constantly when you should be getting high consistent damage. Do you realize how many people you're going to not be able to finish off because you're doing these reloads? Like Zarya, like most tanks, she's really good at doing most of someone's health, but getting that last little bit is challenging for her. Well, if you just mix in these random reloads that break up your burst effectively and decrease your total damage, you're gonna have a terrible time. I bet you don't even have a damage medal as Zarya. Like, when you have a Winston to be charging off of, and when your teammate was a Mei, and medals don't matter, they really don't, but like, this is you Zarya melts things. Zarya melts things. And if you reload at 92 ammo, 97 ammo, 93 ammo, 38 ammo, 56 ammo, like, while things are in your face fighting you, even if you're like, no, I have 130 HP, I'm scared. I don't care. Like, you having 138 HP, you just like removed all fear from the opponents. You had 138 HP, and you're like a wounded animal in the corner that's actually dangerous to attack. If you start reloading, it's like, oh, you're like closing your eyes, putting your claws away, whatever. They're like, oh, now they know that they can eliminate you. Now they know that they can take you down. Like, because they can see that you're reloading. Like, absolutely not. Absolutely not. You will happen to take them down sometimes. You'll slow them down in taking you down because they're trying to figure out how to not get eliminated by you, how to take a little bit less damage. Like, all these things. This is not okay. Zarya doesn't melt anything with one charge? I mean, sure, but she hasn't been one charge for all of this blah. That trigger discipline could still be cleaned up a bit, but it's bothering me way less than the reloads. Okay. Why?
30 seconds remaining.
Your team has this under control. Your team is good. Cool. You probably don't know that D.Va's back here. You could go this way. I could live with that, but like, just go take the high ground. Like, your instant thought should be, looks like they're good. There's no one there for me to brawl with, so let me just hop my way up here. Oh, turns out I'll force an Ashe down. Oh, she's eliminated. Even better. Okay, cool. I can drop right clicks on people from up here. I can see my team. I can see my team when they push to get them with bubbles. And if someone drops that I really want to brawl with, I want to do more damage at close range, I can drop and do more damage with close range. But by going here, you deny anyone, like this Ashe being here. You have an angle to do more damage to your team. You have a position to drop right clicks onto people while not being very committable on yourself, which is something that's important to Zarya. And you can drop and commit for higher damage if you want to finish something off. Like, this is the place to be. Like, it's like, oh no, but D.Va's the off tank who would take this spot. Like, D.Va's the one who takes the off angle high ground. Zarya would love off angle high ground. She just can't get to it as consistently as she likes. It takes too long. When it's there, you can sit up here and play sniper Zarya and just be like, nah, I'm gonna hit my right clicks from here. That's perfectly fine, especially if you've already got some energy.
That all you've got?
Why did you personal?
Go! We're out of time. Give it everything you've got.
Who's shooting at you? This person's already eliminated. That they're not. Who's shooting at you? Who are you protecting with your personal? You're not protecting yourself. No one's shooting at you. You're not body blocking for Hanzo. Okay. Trigger discipline.
Огонь по готовности!
So I see Moira.
Огонь по
I
готовности!
do. Oh! We're past the minimum necessary for HD, but I see YouTube is not receiving enough information. Unfortunate. Unfortunate. Ethernet looks okay. None of my resources should be capping there. That's annoying. That is annoying. I can turn it down a little bit and still maintain HD, but I have to do it between streams. Sorry, guys. Sorry, guys. I'll turn it down a little while still keeping HD, but I actually did expect that we'd be able to maintain this. Okay. Let's continue here. Oh, right. We were talking about this grab. So here we are. You're waiting to finish the Reinhardt before you throw out your grab, and that's incredibly clear, which is like, yeah, whatever.
Огонь по готовности!
But, like, you're throwing it at just a Moira. You're not throwing it particularly deep at the Moira, so, like, that might not even get her, and I don't think you know her fade status. You have to know her fade status. Like, you have to. You do. Can I change this mid? Can I change our quality? Tools. No, I can't. Okay. I didn't think so. Yeah, sorry, charge on CD. There's not much I can do about that while it's going. I'd have to end the stream, which I'm not going to quite yet, unless it doesn't recover. But I think it will recover. Okay. And we're back on Reinhardt now. Perhaps that's a wise decision. I don't like it, but perhaps that's a wise decision. I know, guys. I know. None of that should be choking, though. That's annoying. No, oh no, we're not on Reinhardt. I just looked at the wrong thing. That's even on me. Wow. Okay. Probably body block that, but okay. With your personal bubble. Sure. Sorry, it's accident did he miss? Maybe. Okay. Push up, take your space. Fine.
My ultimate is charging.
Физкульт, привет! Just a scratch.
Sure. You can get the mini. You have 76 HP. You still have 76 HP. You clearly didn't get the health pack. Okay. Why? Why must you insist on this?
I need to
That's a wall right there. That is a wall. Please stop zapping the wall.
My servants never die.
It's definitely better, but it's pretty choppy. Yeah, like I said, clearly there's some consistency issues with my internet here. I've fully gone into my other resources, upgraded my other resources where appropriate, and it's just gonna be the internet quality is actually fine. The internet quality in normal times is actually high enough that I could even send a higher bit rate still than what I'm sending. But the problem is it clearly has bad times, and the bad times mostly don't mess with us when I set the bit rate down in not high definition 720 range, but I think I can find that's right now we're well over the minimum to hit 1080, and I think we can find a spot that's between the two that's not perfect. It won't be quite as good quality, but it'll still be 1080. You're just checking out Blue Show. Yeah, you're quite a bit behind where I am, Blah. So you can catch up, you can wait for it, up to you, but yeah. For reference, when you catch up, I'm on second point. The cart is, right here on the bridge. When I read you're not on Blue Shell, which is true. I wasn't on Blue Shell, but I wasn't on Blue Shell back here. Good 3 minutes ago at this point. Unfortunate. Who are you zapping? Better. Do you think there's no targets available? Do you think there's no targets available? Do you really think the second and a half it takes you to reload that there's going to be no targets available to you for the next second and a half? There's a Winston right here. There's a Baby Diva right here. There's a Mercy up here. There are so many places that you can put this ammo. Well, you have 94 energy. And instead you're just like, nope, let me reload. You have 400 life, you have 97 energy, you have half a clip. What are you doing? You have 3 targets available to you. You're just choosing not to see them. You're like, no, I can't see them, therefore they're not there, therefore it's okay for me to reload. No, it is not.
Hello. Привет. Физкульт, привет. Hello.
We're pushing forward. Why did you personal? This is like you're willing the opponents to shoot at you. You think the opponent should be shooting at you. The opponents aren't actually shooting at you. You want to use your personal bubble at Zarya when you are taking damage and expect to take more, or when you can see the projectiles coming through the air at you, so you can be certain that you're going to take the damage. You don't use it just because you think that the enemy should be shooting at you if they were smart. That's not when you use personal.
Is that all we've got?
It's not a necessary reload.
30 seconds.
Interesting. The ones that's in here, that's very odd crosshair placement. You were prioritizing the bubble on teammates who weren't getting jumped over the Winston that you knew was in there. Right clicks. Don't you dare reload. You are in no danger. This is 3 right clicks. This is 3 right clicks into these guys. And I don't care if all you get out of it is Diva DMing it. Still a good trade. Still a good trade.
My servants never die. 10 seconds. Привет. Hello.
It was almost like she heard what you said about getting the health and
Огонь по
just went, yeah, no,
готовности!
lol. Kinda.
Огонь по готовности!
Didn't work. Reasonably good shot, but didn't work. There was always a diva who was gonna eat it if it was too scary, but hey.
Barrier activated. Barrier activated.
This is like the cherry on top. You're not gonna live long enough for a reload, and you're reloading here. Like, okay. Okay. Blast on that chat a while ago. Chat might be desynced. Yeah, it was a while ago. No, I think you guys are just behind. Yeah, it's really laggy on my side. Okay, I can refresh it on my side, but I doubt that that's what's going on. I suspect you guys are behind where I am, but that's okay. That's okay. So, for reference, I sent that message as Zara was fighting on the cart and took out the Doom. Okay, so we're in totally different places, but that just makes it interesting. Getting back to our review here, because it should hold up after all of the syncing has happened and it gets enough data, whatever. The thing that we are looking at here, if you're done with Zarya, which I think you're going to go back to Rhine now. Yeah. So the things that we're looking at here, like far and away the most important thing for fixing your Zarya is going to be these reloads. These reloads have to be fixed. You have to be conscious of when you're pressing this button. And you want to press your button, your reload button, when, you're out of ammo and then you'll auto reload. Or you want to press the button when there's no opponents available to you, and there shouldn't be. Not just they're not on your screen, they're not on your screen because, hey, they all have cover against you and you can't fix that. Or they are not on your screen because you're low health and you're going behind cover to get healed because you can't afford to have an open sight line because you're in really bad shape and therefore you're going to reload while you're getting healed behind cover. Like, those are the types of times that you hit your reloads. Or, there's no enemies because you just wiped the opponent. They ran away and they got away type thing. They all have cover against you and you can't change that. If they all have cover against you and are likely to have cover for the next 1.5 seconds, go ahead, hit your reload. If they don't have cover against you, keep using your weapon. And poke range, that's going to be right clicks. At close range, that's going to sometimes be left clicks, like the tracers, the Winstons, all those things when they're in your face. Hit those left clicks. This is going to be the most important thing for your Zarya. You're just leaving too much on the table here. If we get into more things, like I can talk about your personal bubbles, I can talk about you not appropriately taking the off angle when it's there, I can talk about how when you brawl, you really aren't thinking about any cover available to you in the brawl. Those are all things I could talk about. I could talk about your really weird grab onto that Moira, eliminated Reinhardt. Hard to even know which one you were going for. I'd probably talk about personal bubble because it has the most transition to the most situations, but this is all going to pale in comparison to your reloads right now. But when it comes to personal bubble, remember, it's when you're taking damage, you've already taken damage and you expect to take more damage, or you actually see the projectiles coming through the air at you. And it's perfectly okay to like body block for other people with your personal bubble. Like I saw, no, you didn't with the Mercy. I was hoping you would with the Mercy. I think you did it one other time. That's totally fine. It can be like, hey, this other person is taking damage and I'm going to go take that damage for them. That's okay, but you need to clean those up a little bit. Not nearly as important as the reloads, though. And then from there, I'd probably get into off-angling on Zarya, but we're not going to get there because I think you play Reinhardt for most of the rest of this match, and I don't want to overload you on Zarya stuff when most of this is a Reinhardt bot. Ryan switched because he was throwing hard on Ryan. Okay, let me catch up here. Temporal's talking and it's paused. The chops are delaying the transmission. It's not like it's skipping. If you yeah, I did do it. It's going to run fine. That's why it's delayed. Right. Live is actually holding back the signal to come back so it's slower. Right. Temporal, I'm a nerd. Sure. Stream seems fine now. Good. I saw Temporal was streaming a Masters Rhine review, but this is a funny looking Rhine. I hear you, Matthew. They were playing Reinhardt on Gibraltar, and I assume their team got mad, so they started playing Zarya so their teammate could play Winston. Now they're back on Rhine, maybe because their reloads were so weak on Zarya. Maybe.
Attackers
For such a science
incoming
nerd, your
in
stream
30
quality sure is bad.
seconds.
Thank you, Adam. Angry Temporal, don't you dare reload. This is premium, yeah. If you reload, I will eliminate you, Master Zarya. Censored for YouTube algorithm. Her last action in life was a reload. It's true, it's true.
Hello.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming.
Enemy contact.
Stop the aim.
Okay. Why are you doing this?
Attackers incoming.
Enemy.
Stop the
Are you
aim.
backing up or are you holding the bridge? Which is it? Oh, you're holding the bridge. Cool. Why are you backing up? Oh, you're holding the bridge. Cool. Why are you backing up? Oh, you're holding the bridge. Cool. Why are you backing up? This is not a thing. Reinhardt is not some let me stay mid-range against you hero. You can go up here and enforce this corner. You can go up here and keep walking into them swinging your hammer, or you can go back to here and decide that you're going to hold back here. I'm good with any of those. Looks like your team wants to go forward. I'd have been fine with your team going forward. Wasn't going to bother me. I'd have preferred that you go forward. But I wouldn't have been like, oh my goodness, what are you doing? That's terrible if you'd gone back. I am saying, oh my god, what are you doing? This is terrible. As you're like, forward, backward, forward, backward, forward, backward, forward, backward, forward, backward. No, you are not a yo-yo that like hangs out of their range. Like if you're going into range to swing, just out of range. Into range to swing, just out of range. That could be a thing, but you're like hanging at mid-range where you are 0% effective as Reinhardt. And don't think like, no, I'm holding my shield so my teammates can shoot. No, that is not a Reinhardt thing. It's not. Maybe this is you trying to corral your teammates. Maybe this is you thinking, no, they need to catch the Rhine bus. You want your team to rotate backwards. Again, don't wait for your team because it causes you to do things like that. Like, you can wait for your team before a push, before a rotation, but once the rotation has started, they're on their own. If they didn't catch the bus, they're going to have to find their own ride. Okay, stream is working again, I think. PSA, you have to manually skip forward. Seems like it was a problem on YouTube's end. Nah, I'm sure it's my internet. I'm not 100% sure, but I suspect it's my internet at this point. YouTube is all broken. Fed 2 minutes of video. I fast forwarded. Okay. Don't recommend that, Val. Like, YouTube eventually is gonna have to YouTube, it'll do mine a little differently. Like if I type something, I can show you. As you can see, I got that yellow highlight over my name that he won't be able to mimic. But like what you're looking for there is you don't want him to do that anyways. Like we don't want him to actually get banned or anything like that, which YouTube will do because YouTube doesn't like a bunch of impersonators running around because impersonators are frequently leading to scammers who are, saying like, "Oh, contact me, I'll help you, etc." and then they try to go scam and get stuff from you. So don't encourage him to do that. Oh. There we go. If you really want to troll reload at 93 ammo, yeah, that'll work. But why though? Like, the cart is all the way over here. You do not need to make this stop yet. And when you do want to make this stop, you actually want to do it from here, truth be told, but I can live with you doing it from here. You don't want to stop the cart here, and you're like gifting them shield. This is as bad as what you were doing in here in terms of, look at this, you don't have a corner to use. Your nearest corner is backing up to here or backing up to here, and you're just gifting them shield before they even need to remove you. No, here or here Or even just chill up here longer, because these guys aren't in a place where they matter yet. Or chill up here and drop behind them and pin out for all I care. It's a better play than what you're doing here. Guys, it's a Masters Rhine dance. Like, it's a full-on Masters Rhine dance. Oh my goodness. Like, not like, oops, I caught him with a misstep or 2 missteps. Like, full, oh. This hurts, man.
Barrier is failing.
Drop your shield. Enforce your corner. See how you don't have shield to stabilize now because you just spent a bunch of shield for nothing? Literally for nothing? No, but I got a fire strike. No, you spent your shield for nothing. You could have been like, hey, precast my fire strike, peek the angle, throw fire strike, unpeek during the unwind, taking only like 100 damage, 150 damage maybe, not taking any damage on your shield and been fine. Also, when these guys rounded this corner like this, you did not have to back. You could have stayed right here where their backline still can't see you and been like, nope, I'm going to swing at you. And I'm going to use the little bit of shield I do have to stabilize if I have to. I should have a lot more shield to let me stabilize, and maybe you're scared and jumping back because you don't have shield, but that is a self-made problem right now. That was hopeful. Okay. I'm being tough on you, but you're in Masters, man. You have to play better than this if you want to maintain it or go higher. And I'm obviously telling you how to play better than this. I'm not just saying play better, but like this is rough. Well, if it isn't the consequences of my own Rhine dance. Yeah. Hopping is actually helping you. Better pin. Good. This we like. It's fine. Push up and shatter. You're good. Push this way. Shatter them. Win. Get your staggers. This team was retreating, and you could have absolutely gotten staggers, and the fight was also not so wildly in your favor, so the shatter made sense. Like, unfortunate. Will shatter be good? Oh, it's a good question now. He's looking to show a solo shatter the Moira? Maybe. Better. Yeah, that was fine. High ground? High ground? You have plenty of time. Go take high ground. High ground? High ground? High ground? High ground? High ground? I don't care if the high ground you take is right here so that you can drop immediately to stop them from moving the cart even an inch. I don't think you have to. I think your real fight is here. You don't have 2 fights between here and here, not 2 real ones anyway, so it's perfectly fine if you let them push the cart to here. But even if you're not okay with that, get yourself up here so that you have the option to drop or not drop rather than just chilling here. Because they can do things like rotate up through here, and then threaten from here and here, or come up and go here and then threaten from up here. We want to have at least some high ground to help mitigate against that. Even as Reinhardt.
My dragon strike is ready.
Okay.
Get behind me.
According to what I've got, guys, this is... Oh. According to... I'm not even going to be able to see that properly. I forced a full screen in a way I don't understand. Sorry, we're gonna have to look at it another time. But I was told this was 3600. And that shatter, that last shatter could have belonged in Masters. I'm less confident that this just standing here shielding for no real reason. Like this right here, less so. We can literally just stand right here and be like, yep, you can't shoot at me. I'm good. We're just giving them something to shoot at for very little reason right here. We're going to Rhine dance? Okay. Why are you now pushing back? Like, you backed up because you decided that she was enough to push you back. I'm not sure I agree, but you decided that. If you want to peek with a fire strike real quick, that's fine with me. If you want to just stand here and enforce this corner, that's fine with me. But you're not now pushing back up with your shield. There was no reason to back up in the first place if that's what you're doing. You're too far away to hit her. Okay, close the angle. I don't know why you expect that to work every time. They're not following you closely enough for that play. That is a play that, like, you tuck behind a corner and then go into the charge as they're going to try to round the corner on you. But they have to appropriately want you enough. They have to be like, no, he's really weak. I want him, something like that. But you also have to have enough health that you don't feel like you going out there with the charge is going to get you eliminated immediately. And they've also got to be close enough to you. That May wasn't really close enough to you, just like the Winston wasn't really close enough to you when you did it back on the transition between first and second. Swing. 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 Good. No. Okay. Fine. Yeah, this was a swing shield, not a swing fire strike. It's not that the swing fire strike is terrible, because you probably calculated that the fire strike would have eliminated the Reinhardt, but then the Reinhardt took more damage from your teammates, and that's fine. My issue is, like, you're very likely to get both of them, so you don't need to chance getting eliminated yourself. Like, you have a full barrier right now, and the team doesn't actually need you to finish getting the elimination, especially now that the Reinhardt is gone. Like, go for the one swing, maybe even go for the second swing that you can cancel into the shield, but don't do the fire strike. It's too easy for this to have traded back into you. Fortunately, it didn't, but it's fine. You're not going to force them out there at the choke like that. Just let it be. Long voice line, oh big slam. If pre-pressed it, yeah, it would have been bad. Okay, what is your plan here? Lose slowly. Your plan is lose slowly. Sure. Okay. Tuck right. Cool. Now this situation isn't going to get better. This situation isn't going to get better, and you need to recognize that. So what are you going to do to solve this situation? Well, you could potentially try pinning Bob, like, right now deeper in here. That might make this situation better. But, like, putting your shield up, this situation is going to get worse, not better over time. So we need to recognize that and look at this and go, wait a second, what can I do? Again, pinning that Bob out looks pretty good. Maybe you needed to shield until that TNT was gone because you were worried about it. Maybe. But, like, you can't still just stand here and shield. You need to be pushing back up. There's nowhere. You're not going to go like, oh, let's all tuck here behind for cover and wait. No, the cart's putting too much pressure on you for that. You need to go take this fight. Unfortunately.
Failing.
Why are you backing? You literally cannot afford to back here. What are you doing? You don't have the shield to allow you to rotate out. You won't have the shield to let you to rotate back in to do damage. Like, you got to. You can't back. Did you know exactly where it was? Because most Ryan's reaction to hearing hammer down is not to press fire strike. Like, you must have thought he was here, in which case you could hit him with your fire strike. But if he's here, are you sure that the hammer down is going this way as opposed to this way? And if you're not, why are you fire striking rather than shielding? This is that, like, your brain like almost doesn't want to be able to hit the fire strike button when the opposing Reinhardt is shattering. Like that's almost forbidden. Sure. Good turn. Charge the bad boy, yeah. Is the rule lose slowly on defense and swing out and reset quickly on attack, or is that too reductive? Well, no, it's not that. Lose slowly could in some situations be appropriate, but lose slowly doesn't really work in situations like this one where you can't afford to lose the fight, right? You have to win. Sometimes when you're manipulating the cart, it more has to do with, are you manipulating the objective? If you're manipulating the objective on defense, if the objective is doing what you want, so when you're on defense, not moving, yeah, lose slowly can potentially be fine as long as you're not staggering yourself in. And even if you're staggering yourself in, there's an argument for it in situations. On the other hand, if you're off the cart, you cannot afford to lose slowly. If the cart's moving forward and you're on defense, you cannot afford to move slowly. You need to just swing out to make them eliminate you, or to eliminate them, whatever the case may be, if it's in a losing fight, in a fight that's not going your way. Whereas if you're on offense, you can go, yeah, you've sort of got it of, hey, if the cart's not moving and you're losing the fight, you'd kind of do want to reset it quickly. So it's a little too reductive to do it that way, but I'd actually, if you change it to being more based on whether the objective is doing what you want or not, and not about defense versus offense, I think you'll be closer to accurate there. It becomes a more stable rule of thumb. That was total luck. He should be gone. I mean, yeah, there was a good chance he was not going to get that shatter off, that he was going to get eliminated, but it wasn't wrong to go for that shatter. Like, he's in a last fight situation. He sees it. Yes, if he gets eliminated, so what type thing they lose anyway. So, like, it wasn't wrong to go for that shatter. What a weird situation, Ryan Mir on Gibraltar, which is why, yeah, that's the sort of thing that, you see in gold games, which is kind of like the movement we're seeing. But hey. You meant defending the objective rather than non-defending team. Okay. Back to our Rhine. Is the clock working for or against us? That would be one way to think about it. Maybe it's a master support playing tank in a gold game. Could be. I would like to get my vision of the post back. Oh yeah, that'll work. There we go. VOD review PC 3.6 Zarya Ryan VOD review request. And want to improve and get past 50-50ing in 3500, but not sure what to work on. Hey, you know, that's this clearly isn't his best game, and that's fine. He showed us a game where he didn't play well, and that's perfectly fine. We'll make it better. That's what we do. He's clearly plays better than this in other games, or he wouldn't be here. Again, you do not need to be offering your team this shield support. This right here. You don't need it. If your shield is still up, it's because you're walking at the enemy team. If you're not walking at the enemy team, you're just tucking back here where they can't see you and they also can't shoot at your shield. Your team does not need you to put your shield up for them to shoot through. Not a thing. There's a very narrow situation in which it's a thing. It has to do with specifically clearing an off angle before you push the main angle. It's particularly helpful against like widows and such, but yeah. Fine. Now, go behind cover and drop your shield. Drop your shield. Drop your shield! No, I did not want to stop. You have 500 health. I didn't want to stop your shield. You're not taking heavy damage. I wanted to let your shield keep recharging. You're like 2 steps from being behind cover. Take those steps, and while taking those steps, your shield would have recovered a ton more HP, and you'd have lost like 80 HP. It's fine. But now, you stopped your shield from charging, your shield took some more damage, and ultimately you get shattered. I'll come back to that in a second, Thales. Coming out on the Hammond. The adaptive shield. You don't have slam yet. Okay, it's just garbage time.
System initialized.
Okay.
Victory.
On Zarya, your biggest thing by far was the reloads. We covered it. Second thing we gave you was related to personal bubble, how you really want to use that when you see the incoming damage, when you're already taking damage and have a good expectation that you'll take more. Main thing was the reloads. You don't want to hit those reloads unless you're pretty darn confident that there's no opponents that you can see. There shouldn't be any opponents that you can see, and that will remain true for 1.5 seconds or so. Okay. Reinhardt. Stop giving them shield. Stop Rhine dancing. Reinhardt does not act at like medium range where it's like, oh, let me forward and back at medium range where you guys can shoot at my shield because maybe my teammates will shoot through my shield, or let me just put my shield up until I have my fire strike cooldown back and then I'll fire strike again. That is not how Reinhardt works. Like full stop, that is not how Reinhardt works. The shield is for us to get from one set of cover to a new set of cover, or for us to get from one set of cover to opponents that we're swinging at, or from opponents that we're swinging at to a set of cover. And then the last thing that our shield is for, and this covers like 90% of all situations, not 100, is the last thing our shield is for is to go, hey, I swung at an enemy, I did some damage, I'm now out of armor, I'm now at low enough health that I don't want to swing again, so I'm going to shield while staying relatively close to the opponents, either in swing range or just outside of swing range, but close enough that I can get back to swinging at them if I get healed, and I'm stabilizing until I'm healed back up, and then I'm going to go back to swinging. Those are the like 90% uses of Reinhardt shield. That covers like 90% of your Rein shield use. I'm serious. Yes, you have little exceptions for like, okay, you're going to use your Rhine Shield to split a Transcendence healing or to block a beat from applying. You have the exception for, I am going to use my Rhine Shield to let my McCree clear an off-angled Widow before we push the team out here to go do like this. I am going to, do this while my Sigma controls the other direction as we rotate, whatever. There is a little bit of like, hey, we're going to maybe let someone shoot through our shield intentionally to do something when we're not doing anything about that here. But that's very specific, and that's a called action. This is not something you need to be thinking mostly about. The vast, vast, vast majority of your Rhine Shield usage should be you're going from cover to cover, cover to opponents, opponents back to cover, or you're stabilizing after you've gotten swings off type thing. You're stabilizing to protect your health, and you expect to get more swings done after you get healed back up a bit. Those are it. There is no I am there is no I am standing here with my shield up because I just want to stand here and see what's going on as my teammates shoot through my shield. And, I'm buying time for my team to shoot through my shield while they also shoot at my shield. No, no, that is not a thing. Protect your shield. I'm serious. Protect your shield. And I am serious about this. Like here, I wanted you to take 80 damage rather than stop your shield from regaining 400 HP, which it would have if you'd done what I'd wanted, which was just hop back here. Um, like, protect your shield absolutely matters. Again, another super obvious place where you did this, right up here. This was really bad. This was really bad. Like, you can't do this forward backward dance. We call this the Rhine dance. Alternate version of it is like this. We call this the Rhine dance. You're in the open. You're not in range to swing it to your opponents. You're not getting anything really by being here with your shield. You might be thinking, no, I'm waiting for my fire strike. You might be thinking I'm allowing my teammates to shoot through it, my shield. No, just go behind cover or go up to the opponents and swing at them. Either is fine. This is not. This is really important. This is like even more important than the Zarya reloads. Barely. The Zarya reloads probably get on my nerves more, but this is more important. So like, you gotta fix this. Second point I'm going to give you for Reinhardt, and it is related to the first, but the second point I'm going to give you for Reinhardt is your shield is for you to rotate. If you want to go from here to here, no problem. If you want to wait for your team and be like, hey guys, we're going to push in 3, 2, 1, and then you go, totally fine. If you don't do that count until you see your team is actually ready to push with you, that's totally fine. But once you go, you go. There is no, oh, my team didn't come with me. Let me go back and get them. Let me try to hold the door open by standing here with my shield so that they can come with me. Your team is on their own for rotations. You can wait for them to start your rotation, but once the rotation is called, and even if it's not called, even if there's no voice comms, once you start going with your rotation, you are doing that rotation. You might change your mind and go back and go, nope, this rotation is too dangerous. I took too much damage. I'm going back to cover. That's fine. But you are not going back and trying to like hold the bus open, blocking traffic, letting more people get on, letting someone finish their phone call, play with their change, figure out, oh, do I have this? Can I make this? You're not doing any of that nonsense waiting in the road for your team to do it. Once you've gotten into the road, you're going to the spot. You are not waiting, letting your shield take damage, going, maybe my team will figure out that they should come with me. Your team is just like your team doesn't always need to use your shield as a firing platform. In fact, they very rarely should be. They should be taking angles and firing from different places. Your team also doesn't always need your shield to rotate. Some of them are going to take flank. Some of them want to stay back there, have a little bit of distance between them and the opponent, all those things. Some of them are going to grapple up and shoot, all that good stuff. So you worry about your rotations. If you want to wait for them and then be like, okay, now we're going. If they come with you, great. If they don't, that's fine too. You keep doing you. Those are the two things I'm going to give you for Reinhardt, as well as the two things I'm going to give you for Zarya. I want you to work through these things one thing at a time with like 5 to 15% of your brain power. That's what I want to happen. 5 to 15% of your brain power, one thing at a time. You might have to work on it for 5 games. You might have to work on it for 50 games. Whatever it takes until you've made improvements and those improvements have stuck on these specific topics. So like you're thinking about them with part of your brain power while you're playing comp. It's working. It's great. And then as we get there, as it starts to ingrain itself, then you're good. That's what you're looking for. It's ingrained. You are good to go. Fine. That's what we want. Then you move on to the next thing once it's part of your autopilot. Okay, that's what I've got for you. If you guys have questions, you can throw them in chat now. If you're enjoying the content, please do like and subscribe, as that helps out quite a bit, and I really do appreciate it. Or if you're looking to get coaching yourself, you can join my Discord in the description below, see what our rates look like, what sort of promos, special events we have going on, all that good stuff. And I am again sorry about how much distraction we had with the stream quality, crashing, etc. It looks like we got through it in the end, and the video should be fine. Other than we'll be talking about the stream quality issue a bit. But hope you guys enjoyed, and let's see what we've got in terms of questions. Spend 30 to 60% of his brain power. You can't. You'll play the rest of the game too poorly, and it'll cause you to crash. It'll cause you to play poorly. You can't up it like that. But I get what you mean, blah. The car thing is true. I was the car. Okay. Okay. So here we go. Thalos says that was something I wanted to ask actually for these reviews. Is it better to get like a really good or really bad game for you, or do you prefer one in the middle that you feel comfortable sending? So for most people, most of the time, I'm fine with anything. You can send anything and I will get value out of it. You can even send me what you think is your highlights reel and I will find problems with you and find things to work on out of it. The problem that you run into if you send me your highlights reel is then I'm telling you how to make the best version of yourself better, which is useful, but how often does the best version of yourself come out to play? 50% of the time? Great, works. 3% of the time? Then you improving the best version of yourself isn't as helpful as you sort of improving the more average version of yourself, the version of yourself that comes out to play 40% of the time, 60% of the time, 70% of the time, whatever that is. So for most people, it's going to be the average day, the average game that they want to submit, win or loss, I don't care. And we'll work on that, and we'll find the habits that average them needs to ingrain, needs to work on, needs to do well, all those good things, and that's going to get them the most value. But for some people, what we do find is their average is looking pretty good, their average is looking pretty nice, they're doing well in their average, but they're not climbing in SR the way that they should. And the reason is because they're running into a situation, not like 1 game in 5 or anything, but maybe 1 in 10, 1 in 20, where it's just like, hey, some of these games that they would be expected to put in the 50-50 category are instead in the, hey, they're losing them 70, 80, 90% of the time category. And that could be a game where, like, say they're a support player, and the games where the opponents mostly pay attention to the front line, they do fantastic, but the games where the opponents pay attention to the back line, they get crushed. That might feel like a terrible game where they just played poorly, but really what's going on is we have to find and fix this for them to be able to make serious improvements. Like, we can make these games better, and that will move them up slowly, don't get me wrong, but we're going to find the ratio of bad games increases type thing. So, like, we're going to have to see some of those bad games to improve it. So, like, it really does depend. I would say generally most people, it's giving me your average games, but if you're finding, like, hey, I feel pretty good on my average games, and, like, you still lose some of them, whatever, but that happens to everyone, we might need to see your terrible games instead, because there could be something where it's like, hey, you're fine most of the time, but when the flankers get on you too heavily, you just absolutely collapse and fold and you don't fight them whatsoever. Or you're good most of the time, but when you're up against a Reinhardt who's even a little bit better than you, it totally gets in your head and crushes you and you play poorly. Okay, well, we're going to have to address and fix that, but that's not your average game. That's a bad game, but it's going to happen often enough that we're going to have to address it. That's going to give you the most improvement potential, that sort of thing. Again, you can give me your highlights reel. I don't care. I will still pick it apart, but that's probably not going to do you the most good. They started with a strange comp. Some of us had those really ELO question mark games. Right. To be fair, you play Rhino on Gibraltar all the time, just not on low ground. Yeah, he works a little better clearing high ground, but it's still rough on first and second point. Like, he just doesn't have the good access to high ground on first and second. Mountain Goat Ryan. Get something representative of your gameplay, Thalos. Yep. I don't know how he got up there, but he seems happy. It can be a win or a loss. Shouldn't be a blowout. Yep. I was going to call that out. Normal gameplay as mediocre Tracer representing gameplay as me trying to chase Hanzo at Oasis just to get... ouch. Ouch. If they're spawn camping the enemy team half the match, right. If it's like 50% plus spawn camping for either team, it's probably not good. And the reason you run into it not being good for submitting for reviews is, the reason you run into it not being good for submitting for reviews is that you're going to start getting sloppy. They're going to start getting sloppy. You're not going to get punished. They're not going to get punished. And if I start telling you, like, hey, this is wrong, you're going to be like, well, I wouldn't have done that if they were doing better. And, like, I get that, but it becomes less useful because I'm not sure that you wouldn't have done that if they were playing better, etc. So you sort of see where I'm going. The car thing was true. I think we should just up it for this guy. Spend 30 to 60% of his brain power. Okay. I'm always the best version of myself. Okay. Let me do a quick refresh here, but I think we got through it. Again, we should be able to adjust this going forward, stream-wise, to find a little bit better of a thing. A little bit better of a happy medium. I play most of my games thinking how the title of my video would be. Genji, why are you swinging this blade this to this ferocious rhyme? Okay. I suppose that matches in some ways. It's a little different than the reports we get back from our other viewers if they hear my voice telling them, "Why are you here? What are you doing? You can't do this," which helps them. But that's a different version of it, I suppose. Okay, that's going to do it. Again, if you guys are enjoying the content, please do like and subscribe, as that helps out quite a bit. If you're looking to get coaching, you can join the Discord in the description below. You can also in there see when we host events, cool things like that. Or if you want to be a part of it, to be here to watch, to ask questions, again, you can in that Discord become a watcher if you like, reacting to the get roll spots, and then you'll get pings. You'll be able to see what heroes we're covering at what SRs, or what guide are we reviewing, or what topic are we going over. We might be discussing something. We might be covering other video game news, other news, all that good stuff. Okay, that's going to do it. I'll see